Alrighty folks, welcome back to Shorty Car Mods, brought to you once again by washing your hands and also just generally avoiding contact with other people or ever leaving your house at all for that matter, which is pretty much what I do anyway, other than the gym part. And this is a real problem because now all gyms are closed, and so I've decided I am removing the living room from my house and I'm making it a home gym. That's what's happening. Gains are more important than living. Okay, and I think gyms are going to be closed for months, so this is where we're at. That has nothing to do with Shorty Car Mods. I'm just going on about it. Let's start off with number 19. Do I really have to say anything else? What do you? I don't see anything. Can you see anything? I see a building. I see a pizzeria, a red car, bluish gray car guy in the background, a parking stall here. Seems to be a shadow, but I'm not sure what's okay. Because it's a camo car. Okay, I get confused too sometimes when I see that comment in response to something camouflage. What's in the image? I don't see it. This time I was quick on my toes though. Okay, I had to do it once I thought of it because I never think about it. Anyway, very good integration of the roof box there. You know, turning it into the turret on the tank. Is that what it's called on the tank? And that. What a conveyor belt right there. Unless you're really up close and squinting, you simply can't tell that that's just a bunch of hubcaps glued to the side of the car. So, very impressive work. I'm sure that you could actually drive that into a military base and they just point you in line with all the rest of the tanks. A buddy of mine saw this, and while I'm sure the economy is great, but it's the Prius Speedtail! We saw this once before posted by somebody else, but it wasn't this image. Somebody else spotted the Prius Speedtail. And I think in the last one, I used it as the thumbnail for the video, but it was cut off at the back. We didn't actually get to see what the rear looked like. Look at it, it's so aerodynamic. I bet this can hit top speeds of 260 plus miles an hour. Look, they've got the aero caps on the front wheels. They're on the front hubcaps. I don't know, it probably has hubcaps. It's a Prius. And then, dude, look at the freaking Speedtail right there. Corporate has asked you to identify the difference between these two photos, this and the Speedtail. I can't tell. Why spend $2.5 million on a Speedtail when you can instead spend $10,000 on this? Because this probably, this probably added a lot of value to the car. Because I don't think a used Prius necessarily goes for $25,000 depending upon the mileage. But this is the bargain of the century. Ye old big wheels, the legendary Mega Donk. As you can see, ladders are next to the car because you gotta get into it somehow. And some days you're feeling a little bit more lazy than others. Some days you wanna just enter through the sunroof. That's why they have this really tall ladder in case you lock yourself out. They leave the sunroof open. It's kind of impractical in the event it's raining like it is here. But fortunately, it's so high off the ground, it's got really good drainage, and you never have to worry about the car flooding. This thing, an absolute monster through flooded streets. It can make it through anywhere. Look at that elevation off the ground. This thing can drive through a swimming pool. You have enough money to show that you loved your car, but also that you hate your car. It hurts. Every time I see this, it hurts so much. It's just... You can't even drive it. It's not a functional car anymore at this point. How long do the tires last is what I want to know. Like, I'm sure that they just keep driving on the tires long past the tires hitting their tipping point. But I want to know that, like, genuinely, how quickly you will get to the point of destroyed tires. Also, aren't you getting, like, that's rubbing the wheel arch. I'm sorry. But unless you have zero suspension travel whatsoever, and this is a skateboard, how uncomfortable would that be? Like, you're just jamming the wheel into the fender when you hit any imperfection in the road, as well as just scraping the crap out of your car while you're dragging on a leaf. So this is a thing. Overwatch forking sucks. I'm sorry. These are not my opinions. These are merely the opinions of the person driving this car, who probably went and bought out a sticker pack of letters and was like, you know what? This is the message that I need to tell to other people. There is nothing more important. I need to tell everybody how much I hate a video game. I have to turn my car into a walking, driving Anti-overwatch billboard. Overwatch has infiltrated enough of society. I can't go anywhere without hearing about Tracer, maybe a couple of years ago, or however long ago that was. Since then, though, I'm like, it must have had a real bad experience. What in the world were they trying to do? Downforce? The Yaris Aventador? Is that a Yaris? Or is that something else? I don't know for sure. I feel like I've seen kind of similar-ish things to this done in Japan. And it kind of works okay. Maybe not to this extreme, but this is like kind of the crappy off-brand version. I'm not nearly as weirded out when I see like a Murcielago that has a leopard skin wrap and a crazy red interior and the LED lights coming out of the side. I'm like, oh yeah, dude, it's part of that car culture in Japan. Whereas if I saw it out here, I'd be like, what's going on? What are we doing there? I guess context matters or something like that. Saw this being promoted on Instagram. He's got a photo of himself driving his Rolls Royce on the bonnet of his Rolls Royce. No. Like, yeah, it's obviously a wrap, but it hurts me enough just like when I see cars and people put their Instagram handle on their window. I don't even want people to know what I look like when I'm driving cars. If I could have some sort of one-way glass out of all the windows in the car and just be totally anonymous when I'm driving around, I'd be perfectly happy with that. This is just like, even when the car is parked, people just, they're seeing you. They get to see you in your car. Not sure if shorty or sick. It's been lowered too much. You know, I'm a fan of not very big gaps from the tires to the wheel arch, like GT3 RS. Perfection. You can stick like an index finger in between the tire and the wheel arch, and that's, oh man, the way they do that with somehow not having anything rub in there, very impressive. This, however, if your fender is eating your wheel, let alone the tire, it's too much, and you're probably not getting optimal performance out of your suspension. I also like, it's a well done wrap, but at the same time, it's like when you do something really busy like that, I think it eats up the lines of the car and makes it harder to appreciate the look of it. So anyway, it'd be what it be. I'm calling the cops. I'm not into i8s. I think I've said it before. And why would you put a Firebird emblem on your i8? It just doesn't make any sense. Where's the crossover coming from? Like, Avengers is supposed to be the most ambitious crossover in history. This has just blown that out of the water because I don't understand why. What was the point of this? And it's an i8. This car in my repair shop today. What is happening? I can't tell if is the crutch part of the... Oh, okay, the crutch is holding the battery in place. I was like, I didn't want to make a mean comment in case this person like broke their foot or something and they're walking on crutches, but no, the crutch is just... It's holding the battery in place to power the absolute units of subwoofers. These are called kickers. With just a little bit of wiring right in the door jamb, you know, not a big deal. And then, what is that? Hey, is that a DIY exhaust right there? Hey, you know, on the plus side, it's not a fake exhaust tip. That looks like the real deal, so you can't fault them for that. I would say that the cars that have the fake exhaust tips when they actually have a pipe that's just pointed down at the ground, that's worse. So this is honesty right here at the very least. This is unsafe. Excessive light bar guy meet excessive towel bar guy. I mean, you know what? Maybe this person services pools, and you never know when you're going to pull up to the pool you got to service, and there are going to be a lot of people in there. They're hanging out. They're like, oh, shoot, I forgot I had the pool guy coming today. And the pool guy's like, hey, No worries, guys. I got you. You might have forgotten your towels inside. Don't worry. Here you go. He just hands out towels like Oprah. All right? You never know when you have to be prepared. Going for that spicy JDM look. Hey, man. What I said before still stands. It's the actual exhaust outlet. Well, I guess it'd be kind of at the base of the can, but it's still attached to the right thing. Like, there's no air gap between the exhaust output and the fake exhaust tip. Like, that's part of the pipe. And I can respect that. And maybe some forum on the internet was like, you know what, guys? I've tested every single type of canned food. And I'll tell you, those wasabi peas, they just resonate so well. They give you all these frequencies you aren't able to capture through any other can you can buy. So I highly recommend it. It'll give this amazing acoustic finish. Maybe there's some sort of brilliant acoustic way this was made accidentally, and it just happens to work. Cleo. Speaking of exhaust outlets, I believe this is a cannon. I think this might be a jet propelled car. But it's in a junkyard because, unfortunately, they oriented the jet properly, so the car just spins around very unsafely in circles. The tire is not nearly wide enough to handle all that force. Tried to give it a bit of downforce with the downward trajectory, but unfortunately, they just couldn't get it straight, and now it just does that. Some guy down the street got himself a new car, and now I have to look at this short every time I get groceries. You know, I saw this video a few weeks back from Pay Money Wubby, where he wrapped his car with some absolutely egregious, like, anime wrap or something. It was done ironically, though, knowing how outrageous it was, just to, like, gauge reactions, though. And maybe this person saw that video, or saw other posts on the subreddit and was like, you know what? I want to see what sort of reactions I can get by having something absolutely ridiculous wrapped on my car. And now, lo and behold, they've appeared on Shorty Car Mods, and maybe that was their goal all along, and now they can take it off. This is so epic. Wow. I mean, that's one way to do things. I guess you know what it is that these gauges are indicating, so there's that. I do like that they have a Civic Type R logo down there. I do like this over here. I like the 9 and 10K rev indicators. That's kind of funny. I know there's no winning on this subreddit, but I think I just won. I don't know exactly what it's supposed to be. It's giving me some Bugatti vibes from the front right there. Also, though, no, that's a Jaguar grill, isn't it? I think. Hey, you know what? They look like they drive the thing. They've got plenty of debris rash on the side of their car. You got to give them some respect for that. I can't tell if those are flip-up headlights. You have headlights down here, but you also have flip-ups, which are kind of flip-ups. Do they also flip up even? It's kind of like an F40. I can respect that. Going after an icon, I see. I can understand that. And they got the wing back there. Okay? Most Ferraris even don't have wings, so you got them beat there. It's really only F40, F50. Everyone else, not so much. So pretty impressive work there. Let me introduce you to the Ford F-150, 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 F-150. Sweet mother of logos and arrow. It'll hold its course in a straight line pretty darn well. It's guaranteed not to ever deviate off path. This is why surfboards have fins, okay? So that you can control them underwater. Sometimes your tires, they just lose it with the ground. You could be hydroplaning or something. This car never has to worry about hydroplaning. It will stay its course. And when you turn the wheel, it's very impressive. They linked all these up there like rudders, but for the air. It's like a plane. You can just, actually steer the car with the wheel input on those things. Incredible side force on the track to get you into corners. And the top for the last month, might have to not make it into the video because it says, regardless of politics, why ruin a car like this? And now I'm scared. Powered by Okie dokie. Toilet paper salesman has money to burn. Oh boy. Wow, that's topical. Given the environment. God, I do wonder how many people who are buying massive amounts of hand sanitizer and toilet paper are doing it not so that they can just build up their 5-year supply in their pantry, but so they can actually turn a profit. Ay. All right, it's just we're just gonna leave it there. I agree with the title. Regardless of politics, why would you do this to your car? The last thing that I want to do on any nice car of mine is express any political opinion one way or the other, like regardless of me being public facing on the internet, and give someone out there a motivation to key my car. It's the last thing that I want to do, whichever way it goes, this or if it went to the other direction. That's the last thing I want to do, because that's what, like, you might park perfectly, but you're still, it looks bad no matter what, no matter which side you're on, and it also, you're gonna get keyed, whichever side you're on. I'm trying to keep this as neutral as possible because I don't want to cut the top post of the month, okay? That's all. Don't hate me. That's it. Thank you for tuning into this video. Wash your hands and your eyeballs, possibly, after seeing this. Like if you liked, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and playlist in the description if you want to catch more shorty car mods. I'll see you next time.